Hello, everyone. My name is Dr. Aisha Bonner-Kozad. You can call me Dr. Bonner. Um, and this is the syllabus overview for human behavior and the social environment 2. I like to do this for all of my classes. I know students don't always read through 30 pages of a syllabi, and I want to make sure to highlight certain points for you if that doesn't happen. Starting here at the top, you will see my contact information. Please remember to, if you do need to email me, to use my Gmail listed here. I check my Howard email, but not often. So if you really need to get a hold of me, this is the fastest way. I've also provided my cell phone. Please call if it's an emergency. If it's not, text. I have my phone with me at all times and can usually get back to you within the hour if you text me something. I do office hours in the evening because I do work full-time job. And I use the online office hours so we can chat, we can video, whatever works best for you. If that time doesn't work for you, you can always set up an appointment with me, or we can have a text or email conversation. So don't fret if that's not a great time. I try to do it in the evenings because, again, I work during the day, and it seems to be a decent time. It's not going to work for everybody, but there are other ways to get a hold of me besides the official office hours, virtual office hours. Okay, so I hope you understand what the course is. If not, you can read about it all here. Um, you must have taken Human Behavior 1, which I know you all have, because otherwise they wouldn't have let you register for the class. Objectives, outcomes, these are all here for you to read, including the competencies that you should emerge with from this course, how it's relevant to the work, and where you will find it in terms of the timeline of the course. This class is fully online. We will not meet in person. And we will be using Blackboard as our learning environment. So if you're not familiar with Blackboard, please make sure you spend some time doing that. It will make the class much easier for you. This is the same information you should be getting in every class in the School of Social Work about academic integrity, getting your assignments completed, special student services, all of that information. This should all look very familiar. Academic support, statement on interpersonal violence, etc., etc. You do need access to a computer. The way the class works is that every Wednesday I will post the announcement of that week's work. You typically have a week for each of your assignments, so the discussion board, quizzes, whatever is on deck. So class will start on Wednesday, and then the following Tuesday is typically when everything is going to be due for that week. This changes sometimes. In general, your major assignments are going to be due on the class day, your midterm, final, etc. You have a lot of options for time management. Let me get to the course here. So you will see here on the navigation there is a calendar. It's populated by the due dates of all the assignments. You see them here. They will pop up, so you can use that. If you're more old school, if you click on course information, right here is a big old calendar with everything you need for the entire semester already laid out. So please make sure that you invest your time in scheduling time for this class. You won't see me to have that reminder to get your stuff in or whatnot. I do post reminders, but because everything is laid out at the beginning of the class, my expectation is that you will plan accordingly. Um, do, do, do. The main form of participation for this class is via the discussion board. Each week you will have at least one, sometimes two discussion board posts to respond to. So I will pose a question. You will respond to that question with a 200-word post. And if you're saying to yourself, how does she know? It's because I count. And this is not arbitrary. The post length and the response length are, I use the gold standard for online courses. So I will count. I will take points off if you don't follow the instructions. So your reply to my question should be 200 words at least. And then you also need to reply to 2 classmates' posts, their answer to my question. And each of those responses must be at least 100 words. So that's 400 words a week for you to respond to question, query, case study, something like that. It's worth a fair amount of points, so please adhere to this. I get students every semester who assume I will not count or that it doesn't matter, and it does. Because we don't meet, we don't have an opportunity to have that in-class discussion. And the discussion board online makes up for that. So it's very important that you participate in it. And, you know, students, it's definitely work, but students often have said in end of the year evaluations that they got a lot out of it. So I don't want you to dismiss it because it's only 10% of your grade. The grades are weighted, so that does make a difference, but it is important to your learning. So please make sure to adhere to that, and of course, if you have any questions, let me know. If you miss more than, because we're, again, not meeting, if you miss more than 6 discussion boards assignments, you will fail the class. That would be like not coming to class for almost half the semester. The textbook is right here, Human Behavior in the Macro-Social Environment. They should be in the bookstore. It's the class used for all of the Human Behavior 2 courses. And of course, you need the APA manual for all of your written assignments. Okay, so it's pretty cut and dry. There are 8 mini exams. I never know whether to call them exams or quizzes. I feel like they're more quizzes, but it's really a check that you have read the material. Together, all 8 of those mini exams, mini quizzes, are 35% of your grade. So definitely pay attention to them. You have a group midterm. I can hear the groan across the internet already. Your midterm is a group, and your final paper is a group. Together, the midterm and your final paper are more than half of your grade total. So I understand that group work has unique challenges. I'm here to help you with those. So it's a paper and an electronic presentation, a PowerPoint, a Google Sheet. Um, you can do it on your Mac. It needs to be a presentation like you would present at a conference or at a meeting, outlining the work you did on your paper. Everyone needs to participate, and there should be some type of audio visual. You can record yourself discussing, you can you can talk about it and do just an audio cut, but it needs to be connected to your presentation and posted on the discussion board in the proper place so that your classmates can watch it and then respond to it. And that's for both the midterm and the final. I'll say this now, and I will say it many times over this semester. Don't wait until the last minute. Just don't do it to yourself. People wait to the last minute. They have some kind of technology challenge. They need help. If you wait until the last minute to put together the presentation, and of course, that means the paper needs to be done for you to complete your presentation, you will be very disappointed. And these two assignments are worth too many points and can really sink you. So, everyone already has a group assigned to them, which I will show you here. If you click on groups, you will see, I'm not really sure what you see. I don't know if you only see your group or all of them, but if you click on the group name, you will see that students are already assigned to the groups, and you have a ton of tools here. You can share files. You have your own group discussion board. And there are some things that you have to respond to there for me, but it is for you. You guys can have a whole conversation within your group, keeping in touch, checking up on stuff, communicating with one another. You can set tasks. You can send emails from inside of here. Please use these tools. You can also set up meetings in Blackboard Collaborate, so you can video with one another, talk with one another. Obviously you have phones and email and all of that, but these tools are set up to make working with your team, your group, easy and efficient. You have to take advantage of them. So I encourage you to do so. It doesn't matter if you guys are in different places. You can communicate and work together to get the project done in a timely manner. I will say this now. If you are having trouble with someone in your group who doesn't communicate or collaborate or isn't responding, please do not wait until the night before the paper or the assignment is due to tell me that. I will work with you to ensure that everybody is working together. But if I don't know what's happening, I cannot assist you. Also, I would encourage you to think about this. You guys are about to go out into the world, and while you're now students, you will soon be colleagues. And if you are supposed to have a meeting with colleagues about a client, do you just not show up? Do you not return phone calls? Do you not respond to an email? That is not very collegial behavior. And you need to be thinking of yourselves as about to go out into the world, and the way that you behave as a student is a good indicator of how you will behave as a professional. And how do you want other professionals to see you? So think about that as you're working on these assignments. Right now it's a paper, but it could be you, the social worker, or a psychologist, a medical doctor, a case management worker. all working together on a case, where you need to meet, you need to have discussions, you need to produce some kind of work product, a patient chart, a write-up for services, and you wouldn't simply not do that. You wouldn't simply not show up for that. So this is the same thing. This is the same type of activity, only you're doing it for school. So please give that consideration to your fellow students. Everybody knows how stressed and overworked graduate students are. So you don't help anyone by not responding, not working together. Okay. I think I've gone over all of these. Again, these are weighted grades. So when you look at your points, you're going to have points, but then all of the mini exams are weighted. So they are going to have a different weight than the midterm, and from your class discussion. So adding up all of your points isn't going to give you your grade because of the weight that's applied. I do keep the grade book up to date. I'm pretty good with it. That being said, there are times when I can be a little slow. So if you click on Grade Center, I'm not going to show it to you because we'll actually pull up all of the stuff, but you can log in and look at your grades. I try to make sure that I have the assignments graded every week. It does usually take me a little bit longer with the papers, but the discussion boards and your quizzes and all of that come up pretty quickly. So you can keep track of your current grade, and keep yourself, you'll know where you stand pretty much at all times. So for each, the midterm and the final paper, there are online documents that are write-up. So if you go to the, again, the navigation bar here, click on written assignments, you will see that there is an instruction sheet, and this is the turn-in link. So if you click this, it will take you to the place where you will deposit your paper. Since this is a group paper, and in an effort to ensure that if you are in a difficult group situation, or frankly, someone's work, people's work product aren't equal, you will get graded for your piece if there's a huge disparity. This is how I work this. If I read a paper and it's pretty much at the same level across, I will not go in and pluck out individuals. I look at the individual paper when I notice that there are large disparities in the quality of the writing, the grammar, the mechanics, and that's when I will pull out individuals and see where people are at and assign a different grade. Having said that, I will encourage you all to help one another. You all should not be turning in anything that hasn't been reviewed. What I would do is write my piece, send it to my teammate for their review, and everyone in the group should be doing that so that you all can help each other achieve the best quality work product. There's also the writing lab. Hopefully each of you have someone in your lives who you can reach out to for editing or help with papers. But we do have the writing lab, and that information is in the syllabus. At any rate, you must turn in your final paper. Each of you must turn in, just one person needs to turn in the assignment, because it knows that this is a group assignment. Each of you need to turn in your individual link, your individual contribution, and that link is here. This goes same for the final paper. You will be in the same groups because the two papers are connected, as you'll see when you read the write-up. So I just want to quickly, oh, that's not going to do. Let me just open my own folder. Write-ups. Okay, so for the midterm and the final, you're going to see a document that looks like this. And you must read this entire document. Everything that you need is in here. Everything. If you read it thoroughly, you will not be confused about what I'm asking of you. Due dates, a general description, the guidelines, how long the paper should be, what you need to include, right? It's already laid out here for you. Every section that should be in the paper, what your references should be like, the actual layout of the paper, so the evaluation criteria, and then the information about the actual presentation, what it needs to look like, what it should include. So please read this very carefully, very closely, and you will be fine. If you follow through on this, you will be in good shape. Okay, so the same document or a similar document is available for your theory paper, the presentations, and class participation. So that's what you're going to be graded on. And then the rest of the syllabus here goes through each week with what you'll be covering, readings, etc., etc. And again, that information is mirrored right here under units of study. So you'll see the overview, the readings. You have a plagiarism quiz for the first week, a PowerPoint that goes along with the reading. For some people, that's helpful. And then a link here that takes you to the first discussion board. So if you back out one level to the discussion board, you will see here every discussion board for the entire year is already posted. So we do introductions, and then for the first week, you have this discussion board. You click create a thread. You will see my question to you. You will then give it a subject and write your response here, and then submit it. You can save it as a draft if you're working ahead and you want to. It will populate back here if you click save as a draft. You can resubmit before the deadline. That's not a problem. And that's pretty much it for the discussion board. So when you click on create a thread, you'll see the question up there for you. So please do not cut and paste the question. I know what the questions are. You can simply write your 200-word response. Please do not submit a Word document. Just type the response here. If you are concerned about grammar and spelling, you can write it in a Word document or a Google Doc or whatever you use, do all of your editing and so on and so forth, and then cut and paste it here. That's fine. But it's extra work for me to have to open additional documents. So simply write it here. Stick with a 12-point font. Changing the font size doesn't confuse me. I still do actually go in and count. So, again, the due dates are listed here. Everything is due at 11:59 p.m. I give you the whole, literally as much time as I possibly can for this. I was a graduate student years ago. I remember the crazy time, and I can certainly appreciate that. So you have a lot of flexibility, but if you wait until the last minute, you will really put yourself in a bind. So every week, pretty much looks the same. You'll get sort of what we're going to be working on, and then I like to do a lot of videos. I know everyone doesn't learn the same. Everyone has different learning modalities. So for some people, the text articles are going to be sufficient. For others, video is good. I try to do simulations and other online activities when I can. It's a little bit tricky for this class, but any extra learning modalities or additional learning modalities will be under the week for which they are appropriate. And of course, you'll get the PowerPoint, and then again, the link to the discussion board for that week. Again, create a thread, you'll see the question, and always the instructions. Reply to the question, to my question to you, and then you must reply to 2 other classmates. Each post is worth 50 points. If you don't reply to someone, if you only reply to one person, that's automatic 10 points off. If you don't reply to anybody, that's an automatic 20 points off. If you don't reply to the question, but you only reply to somebody else, right? So I'm not grading you on your grammar or structure in the discussion boards. That's the only place where I'm not looking for those things. I'm looking for you to reply to my question as asked, reply to 2 classmates. And I'm also not grading you on your content. This is just like if we were having a conversation in class. I've asked you this question. I want to hear your response. And in class, I wouldn't say, hey, no, that's wrong. The idea is to have an open discussion with your classmates. So, you don't have to worry about being right. The idea is to give a thorough response based on what you know, your life experience, and the material from the class. So that's really what we're going for in the discussion board. Okay. So back to the syllabus here, we have, again, the full listing of each week and articles and required reading, so on and so forth. And let me just scroll through here. All right, and then we get to the course calendar, which I showed you is already on Blackboard. Each week you'll get the unit, the assignments, due dates for the entire semester, all laid out for you right here. So going back to the Blackboard, every week I do an announcement. It will appear here. I believe it's set when you log into the class. This is the first page you will come to. The announcements also go to your email. So if I don't have your email, and there are a couple of students who I don't have emails for in the class, I don't think you will get those announcements. If you click right here, so it will, if you've got a picture that you've put online for Blackboard class before, your picture will be here. If not, it will just be a little gray person. If you click here and click on settings, personal information, you will come to this page here, and you can make sure I have your current phone number, whatever. If you don't use your Howard email either, give me the email that you actually check every day. You can post your picture. It's a nice way when it's an electronic course, and I'm sure all of you see each other on campus at some point, but at any rate, please make sure you do that. So anyway, you'll come into the announcements section. You'll see whatever's been posted. I've updated the plagiarism quiz. That's why that post is there. And as soon as the class is open, you guys will probably get a flurry of announcements coming through. So you can get to the discussion board from here. It's also here. It's all the same discussion board inside the units. Your groups are here. Various tools that are associated with Blackboard. You can check your grades. You can check announcements. This is the Blackboard Collaborate. This is what I was talking about before. You guys can set up video chats through here. Blackboard Help. There's just a ton of stuff here. Contacts. Some of these things may not appear in yours. Some of these might just be for me. Emails, so on and so forth. So the help, the tools, if you need help, you can click here. This will take you out to Blackboard Learning for Students. And as you can see here, they have a number of things set up for you. So when you first enter the class, I'm going to ask you to come here. There's some brief information, and then sort of a let's get started section. So you want to do that. Course information is here. And this video will replace this one from last year. And you'll get a link to that in an announcement to view this. I think this is really critical. Everything that's in the syllabus is also on the online course, including all of these sections on the overview, the Black perspective, so on and so forth. Again, the schedule, very, very important. The evaluation, required textbooks. If you've not ever used Blackboard before, I really encourage you to take this distance learning orientation. Some communications tools that I've pulled together for you, some information on netiquette, guidelines for online participation, etc., etc., etc. So please review all of this material. My contact information is on the syllabus itself, but you can also pull up this information here, some additional resources, course requirements and resources. Again, this is straight from the syllabus, but it's all here. Writing tips. I really am a stickler because I think it's important when you go out into the professional world that your writing be competent, and social workers write a lot, whether you're direct practice or not. You should be able to communicate clearly in your writing to your colleagues. So we used APA. we've got, and I've attached several other things. Just some tips for academic writing, which is different than writing for an English class, or this is not about this is not so much about your opinion as it is how you write about facts, how you describe what's happening with a client. There's a certain manner that you want your writing to have, and it's a more formal type of writing. So if that hasn't been your experience, please make use of these different aids. And also in formal academic writing, so that means your midterm and your final paper, you should not use first person. I am writing this paper. That is a no-no. You are writing in a formal academic style, and this is one of the best little documents that I've found. I think it makes it very clear, and it is something I take points off for. So please don't do it. Please take the time to review these documents that will be helpful for you. If you're reviewing your teammates' work and you see that type of stuff, please do them a favor and point it out. You don't have to rewrite it for them, but please make them aware. And I hope you all take that very seriously. Okay, so back in resources, just some information on study skills and library resources here for you. Here is where you will, if you're going to use the virtual office hours, you want to click on it, and it is going to show you the office hour that is coming up, which is tonight. I doubt anyone will be on, but I will be here if you have any questions about the class. So you just want to click on here. I'm sorry. I think you just click here, and it will, when it's open, it will take you to the actual office hour. Let's see what else. I showed you the calendar, weeks of study, mini exams. They are available to you for the time period listed here. So the first one will be available right now. I'm not sure what it shows you. I don't know if it's grayed out or whatnot, but right now the only quiz you can take is a plagiarism quiz. The first mini exam will open 1/22 and will close on 1/28. So you have 6 entire days to do it. It is open book. And there's a little description for each of them here, and they will become available when they are, open to you. I think that's everything. Looking forward to the year, and let's have a great semester, everyone. Thank you.